Again, it's Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery in the backyard. And it's a fairly nice but warm day in Florida. And Joanne is here visiting with us, and we're going to show her a weedy garden. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Priscilla.
I'm going to start by doing something a little bit different than I usually do. And I'm going to try and give myself the pleasure of adding a sunset color to the top of my sky. Just because I can. Hey, that's the name of my book on the Amazon link. The first one, volume 1. And I don't think it matters what I do here as long as I don't let things that are going to become brown overlap. We'll try and keep the orange and the purple away from each other. Maybe I'll save the blue until later. And I think that'll be fine. And it might be a little kitschy colored, but it's okay. I am going to make an attempt to make these colors go over the edge by putting my spatula on as I pull it to the edge of my tile. And I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going to do the same thing again. I think I'm going to use a little container, which I've been doing a lot of lately, to scrape off the paint that's residual on my spatula, because I do get to use that sometimes. Now I can also put a little white in here or a little blue, and I'm thinking that either one of those things is probably going to happen. And I don't mind when colors overlap each other, because that's what makes it look like a more natural sky. Although this is looking like a party. I do have a little bit of trouble with using the spatula to create the effect that I want when it comes to the edges. I didn't use an excess amount of paint, and you could probably use a whole lot more paint than I used. And I'm not going to worry about the top too much. I am just going to clean off my spatula up there and use whatever's on my finger, get an initial coat, and I can choose another color later, or I can fix that tomorrow or later today. I just wanted to try this once, and I'm going to wipe off my spatula, make sure it's nice and clean for a last go through. Do I want to put some blue in there? Maybe I do. Maybe we should try some satin enamel. I know that it would be okay to try some. Just because. Chances are good we will probably get some cells. All part of the process. Yeah, little white didn't do any harm. I've got lids for those little containers that are saucers here. I'll show you. They fit perfectly on top. They came from Michael's in the party section. Let's make sure whatever's going on this side. If I can see paint over there and it's dripping down, it's a good time while it's wet to take advantage of that. And if I have any places like this that are bothersome, I can go ahead, steal a little paint, and come back. Now what I want to do on the bottom half of this is create a weedy garden, as I said. And what we're going to do is spread some, white? Okay, we'll do white. A layer of paint to help other paint move more freely. And it doesn't even really matter what's in there. So the fact that a little tiny bit of schmutz is on my spatula is not an issue. Let me move some things out of my way, like my sky colors. And let's put a little bit more white right up to the edge. So when I apply my weedy garden colors, it will be from a shovel, I believe. It could be from a scoop. You could probably dribble them right out of the container if you wanted to. Whoops. I'm being messy. I'm going to knock off what's on the edge of the spatula along the edge of the canvas. Probably not too much reason to do that, and maybe I'd be better off not, actually, at this point. But that's bothering me, but it won't be a problem for very long. And I am just going to wipe off my spatula right along that edge and right along the bottom. We're going to be using an edge catcher, which is a sheet of plastic that's stiff, and it came from an insert from 16 by 20 inch canvases value pack from Michael's. And make sure that spatula is good and clean. That's what paint clothes are for. So hoping that I can get these colors mixed. What's in my way? I think my turntable is a little off kilter, so we're going to fix that now. So we're going to leave that aside for a minute. I'm going to come over here, and this time I'm going to use some satin enamels, and I'm going to start with a layer of gold in the bottom because I like the gold and the way it reacts with the enamels. And this one is the satin. Now I've never done this with the enamels before, and so I'm a little nervous, but I do trust my instincts. And I'm just going to layer those colors right on there that for me make up the grass. The minty green color shift is this one. This is just a metallic green. The turquoise is a folk art, the same as the minty green is. I don't know what this other color is. It doesn't get used very often, but it makes everything else pop, so that's fine. I don't know that I need an awful lot of color, but I'd rather have enough than not enough. So I'm going to go back again and throw some more gold in there, and maybe some of my favorite folk art purple, even though it doesn't make sense to most people. Let's see if I have a darker green. Actually, you know what I do have? I have what's left of my Art Minds Mysterious, which I have been savoring and saving, and a little bit of turquoise metallic. And yeah, I'm making sure I have enough color now, and it doesn't matter if they're little dots or not. So let's get some of this out of my way. So that was just one layer, white layer, shovel. All right, here goes nothing. Maybe a smaller. I don't know if I love my sky or not. I should probably fix that if I don't. What do I want to do to that? Purple fixes everything for me. Because once that's in there, it's probably going to stay in there. And if the stripes aren't even, all that much better. Alright, wipe that off again. As much as I hate wiping paint off. Alright, so here's me grabbing a shovelful. I'm going to let some of that go down over the side this time because I don't usually do that much. Grab a little bit more. Grab one more time. This is our first time trying the Weedy Garden with the satin enamel. I'm going to let that go over the edge too. I am going to find something to close up. Oh look, there's a lid for my iPod box. Fancy that. Can I actually use it? I'm going to let that shovel rest right there. It is time to grab an edge catcher. I think I want a slightly smaller one. This hideous one ought to work really well. Alright, I see I've got a couple places on the edge of my canvas I want to cover. For me, it's important to let the paint go... Oh, you know what? I lied. I'm going to let the paint go up first. Like so. It's just not... We don't need that edge catcher yet. So, why don't we turn that around so our guests can see. So there's our first batch of running weeds. I can't do this the opposite. I should have put you on the other side. So now, no, you're good. So now I'm going to let it run down again. And if there isn't enough paint, and I've got some paint left, and I could put some more in there right now. And that seems like a good idea to me, because that is not really as much as I was hoping. And more layers and more patterns isn't going to hurt anything. And I might have actually made up the right amount of paint. Alright, we'll let that drain again. Alright, let's give it another try. Now I have enough paint to go all the way down. And I'm going to let it pool. And when it's nice and straight across, I'm going to squeeze the edge catcher and the bottom of the canvas. And I'm going to cover the bottom of the canvas, take my word for it. And we have a second layer and a third layer. And a fourth layer. And I'm going to let all of that keep running up. And I'm going to turn that around so Joanne can see. We're just going to keep sending those drips right up because we haven't done anything exactly like this before. And if I wanted a little bit more color anywhere, I could probably just add some, and I always wanted to do that. I'm just going to keep letting that run. And so far I'm not minding the satin enamels. I'm going to grab two things. One is my flat front spatula. Pull a few things up and away from the rest and fill in. Thinking about adding some flowers, probably with chain. I have a bamboo skewer and it's calling me, the dull end, so I don't poke a hole in my canvas. I'd say that's going to be a flower for sure. Probably should have waited till I put the color on there. So this is another thing you can do. You can just stick your skewer right into a ball of paint. And if you get a little indiscretion like that scratch in the yellow, you don't have to worry about it because you can always put a flower right there. Now I'm pretty sure Joanne is a fan of the chain pulls, so it's probably time to give that a shot right after one more go. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in with a few more strands or sprigs or blades or whatever you want to call them. And then in a second it's going to be time for me to decide if I want to have any loops. And I'm going to just loop my chain. And it's warm out here today, so I'm thinking pretty quick I better decide if I'm going to torch. The more you lift the chain, the smaller the sprig will get. Sort of keeping an eye out to see where I might want something new. Oh, those colors were so nice, and I just ran the chain right through them. Alright, so we got a few things that I like going on. Maybe one more here. And I did keep a little bit of paint back, which is good because now I can dip my spatula in and add tops if I want to anything. I think it's time, if I'm going to add some flowers, to do that. I think I'd like a little more dark paint. The enamel is different. It's made it a lot paler. I'm going to take a little bit of my paint and put it right along the edge right now before it dries in my pan anymore. Somebody wants me and they're out of luck. It's probably a telemarketer, it always is. So that looks like desert sky, so this is obviously desert grass. Just going to use that. Whoop. Alright, so I'm going to try and lean over this. I just want that space to be gone. I want to integrate that space a little more. And I'm going to take a torch to this right now to see. The patterns are really subtle, but they're very pretty. You're welcome to look. I don't think the satin enamel is better than what I was using, and I am going to give myself. Am I? Maybe I'm not. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little container. And I was mentioning this to Joanne earlier. I'll just put a few purple flowers in there. Where? I don't know. And I did say I wanted to put some chain pulled flowers in there, so we'll see if I can manage to get myself to do that. We've got 2 minutes left for me to mention that I do sell my artwork and throw some chain pulled flowers in there. So let's just give that a shot and see if I can get away with it. Not knowing at all if that's going to work. Ooh. Yep, we're going to try it. For the enamel, I don't think it's going to take much. Clean piece of chain. I want some blue in there also. I'm going to loop my chain right around it. Right up from the top. And lift it up. I think a couple more of those would be a good thing, don't you? Mm-hmm. So if you guys would watch the video longer, you might have a chance to keep me here on YouTube. That the algorithm at YouTube only knows longer watches. Although I did hear that making a comment and having a conversation definitely are helpful also. So bear that in mind. Shopping the Amazon link at no added cost to you helps me out. And I need to remember which way that goes. But I'm just going to do that right now. We got a couple flowers. This is Priscilla Batzell in Spring Hill, Florida at Expressionist Art Studio Gallery with Joanne. And I'm probably going to add a little bit more color to my piece and put a few more flowers in, so it may not look exactly like this when you see it again, but you get the idea. I went the other way. I can't remember which way I went to begin with, but that's still pretty, so we're good there. I'm going to do a little bit more over here. There's 1 minute for me to tell you that I have Facebook groups. Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Appreciation Group is for students. Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Fans and Collectors is for fans and collectors. Expressionist Art Studio Totes and More will take you to a Shop Now button that'll take you to Fine Art America and Pixels.com, where you can see what I've been doing since 2013. If you are interested in helping support the studio and keep me painting, you may certainly see the end screens in the last 20 seconds of the video for this month's drawing prizes and an exhibition video. I just want to fix this over here. So that's kind of cute and not hurting anybody's feelings, especially not mine. We could probably add a few more things, and I kind of want to. Even though I have a lot of other things up there, I don't think I mind. Stop swinging chain. I love you guys. There's 85,000 of you. You're going to be gone in a second. And if you want to come back again tomorrow, I'll be here. Check the community board or Facebook group, Expressionist Art Studio Gallery Appreciation Group. where I post tomorrow's video more often than that. I think that one's getting the same treatment.